What about now, Bree? Do I have audio? Yeah, I got audio. Yeah, it's because I'm streaming from the mines. So, it's being picky about the. I'm not even sure my mic will come. Yeah, it'll come in a little bit. Basically, I'm just kind of testing things out right now. Because I had to completely buy a whole new monitor, a cam. So I'm still just feeling things out. And I am not going to look at my ugly mug all night either. So it's just not going to happen. The last thing I have to update, going to have to update is going to be the internet, but that'll be next week. I spent way too much money this week. Because that's a lot of my issues is the connectivity issues. Yes, sharing screen is not working. Let's see if I can't get a little light. Let me see if I can get some light in here. Now it's a little bit better. Guess it seems to work a little bit better when the camera's on. Let's see, YouTube's made a lot of changes since I've last been on here streaming. Took me a second to set a few things up. Yeah, every day it seems like. I didn't even bother age restricting this. I figured now that they got that new policy where you just click your content's not child safe. I figured that would be the ideal solution to it, so I don't have to every time worry about hitting age restriction on my videos. Some of my connection issues right now might be because I got a bunch, still got updates going on. But yeah, for the most part, I've just been working my ass off. I haven't had a chance to really do anything. But I'm taking some of that money and, like I said, investing it and upgrading the software and stuff. Yeah, that's their goal in the long run. We all know it. They're gonna pick who they want to be streaming. We all know that. That's why I take use of other platforms like the Mines. They took away our ability to use Google Hangouts. Fine, I can still go over the Mines and use their app. Now after next week, I might be able to stream over in D Live, but I'm still not a fan of D Live. Plus, in the end, it's not really going to matter because I'm going to go ahead and I don't know if I'm going to pay for Zoom because I like the live call in feature that Zoom has, but I can do that through Uber Conference for free. Or I'm going to go ahead and just spend $300 and get the license for the XSplit. I've had way too much issues with the OBS, so I think the last time I was on OBS, my issue was I was live streaming, but somebody else's stream was playing over top of mine. Still haven't figured out how that happened. I'm just gonna pick one that I'm comfortable with because I don't want too much crap on this computer. Can you do live call-ins from there, like you can over on Zoom with a link? Because I think I'm gonna start doing more of that. I kind of enjoyed the last couple times I actually was doing the live call-ins. But as for me, like I said, I have been caught up with work here of late, so I really haven't had a chance to do anything, and I'm not in the mood for politics. Haven't been for a while. I kind of keep my nose out of that area. Mainly because it's just I don't. I'm kind of enjoying life right now, so I kind of want to keep the negativity out of it for the most part. I'm actually really enjoying work, so it will be interesting. Like I said, I've got a few things. I got a couple things I'm thinking about changing up over here too as well. There's something I've been wanting to do on this side of things, and I just don't feel like doing anything with KOTR right now. And I'm thinking about bringing over the urban legends, folklore stuff, kind of doing that for a bit instead of getting away from the politics. I mean, there probably will be. This is rambling and chaotic minds. Who knows? Honestly, it's been so long since I've done a live stream. I forgot to share. Let me get the sharing out the way real quick. I don't think it's going to let me share to Twitter again. It might. Oh, I don't even have an Uber conference set up on here. But yeah, let me drop you a link, Bree. You can join me over here. I guess I'll just do it like this for right now. If I got to remember how to do this. That might help with my connection issue right there. I guess the best way to do this is I'm just going to share the link to. I can't remember how we did this. Oh, I remember. I did it from my phone. Oh, I see I'm bumping head with Be Rich. Oh well, I haven't been on in forever, so. Oh, I don't even. Never mind. I'll just share the link to my. If anybody wants to join me, you can join me over here on the mines because I don't remember my password and stuff for my phone to get on the mines, so I'll have to do it this way. And that is not the right link. Damn, I'm rusty. Well, actually, I no, because I got the stupid authentication notification set up on the stupid thing. Where am I? Got the mines hid. Contacts. Okay. Oh, now it remembers my password. Yeah, I know you're a member of it, so but there's other people that might be watching that aren't a member of the mine. So, and I remember I found the way to bypass all that. Oh wow.
Oh
No.
wow.
Oh yeah, that's gonna suck. All right, this will take a second. I just gotta go to YouTube real quick and drop this link. This will take a second. I just gotta go to YouTube real quick and drop this link. This will take a second. I just gotta go to YouTube real quick and drop this link. This will take a second. I just gotta go to YouTube real quick and drop this link. This will take a second. I just gotta Why are they gonna make things so difficult? See, they've actually changed the things. You can actually do live call-ins now, right straight from here. That's nice. Now, hopefully, I don't got an echo going on because of all that I just did. I don't hear one. All right, guys. Looks like they've Minds have made some changes. So now you can either join via the link and you skip the sign-in process, or you can direct call, which is hell of an improvement from the last time I used this. Like I said, it takes me a second to navigate these things when I'm been lazy. Not so much lazy. I just haven't been. I haven't had the time. I've been pretty much all work, no play. And it doesn't mean I haven't been watching things and keeping up to date on some things. It just means I don't not in the mood to talk about it. Like I said, this the holiday season, so there's enough negativity going around. People's stress levels are up. I don't We don't need the political BS that's in our face every day. I mean, shit. I went to the store today just to buy some groceries for Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, plus get the monitor and the cam. And shit, before I knew it, I was checked out at the checkout cashier. It's like, man, $400. The groceries cost more than the monitor and my cam. And I wasn't cheap on the monitor. I spent 150 on the monitor, another $54 on the cam. No, it was a no, it was 134 for the monitor and 38 for the cam. So still just a little, almost 200 for that. But the groceries was over $200 for very little, honestly. Maybe 10 pieces of groceries. And it's like, wow, damn, they're on a paycheck. All for Thanksgiving dinner. So, I can understand why people's stress level gets up around this time of the year. Shit. It's not even Black Friday. Shit, the line in fucking Walmart was ridiculous. Probably took me just as long to get through the checkout line as it did for me to shop. Well, it took longer to get out of the check line than it did for me to shop. I know what I wanted. You know, was pretty much done with shopping within 15 minutes, baby. Hello, Brie. At least I think that's you. Yep.
And give me some audio there, Drew.
You're coming in just fine.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, the only thing I don't got hooked up right yet is my Yeti mic, but I got to rechange everything. I don't got enough room on this old computer desk to fit the gaming computer, the TV. You can see I got the Dell in the background running. The old computer, I've got that sitting on the headboard. So
Oh, well, hey, everybody. Free Spirit here. God, it got me all choked up. Uh,
that might be me in a little bit.
uh, I ain't doing none of that stuff. I'm behaving. Believe that? Um,
Well, this is all I can do. No, my smoking days are done. At least if I want to keep my job.
and that's what one of the reasons why I wanted to step up and come on here um tonight was you would um
Oh,
in some of your tweets and things like that, and
oh,
and
let's not
even
get me
early
started on tweets.
and even earlier in the broadcast tonight you had said that about the working hard. You know, my thought about that, you know, really it's quite simple. You're doing something that you like. It's on your terms. And so if it's you're working and it's on your terms, then really, is it a job? Let's be honest here, and really stop and think about that. You're doing something that you like. Is it a job, or is it something that it pays the bills? First and foremost, it checks that box. It puts food on the table. If it can check that box, it allows you to put a little bit back for things like a new monitor, a new camera, things like that. The want items. Um, Plus, be able to put money back. If it's allowing you to check all of the boxes, then is it really a job? This is one of the things that people, I think, sometimes get caught up in the semantics thereof, because they're too busy worrying about trying to rob Peter to pay Paul all the time, and they're not getting anywhere. I seen a video the other day, and I'm not even going to give the person who put that video out. I'm not even going to give them uh any satisfaction of mentioning a name, but they were like, you might as well just go out and rack up as much debt as you can. You've went the smart way, and for that, um, because you have the old school ethics.
I only buy what I need. Very
Exactly.
seldom do I even get in my wants, and I don't own no credit cards. If I can't pay cash for it, I don't need it.
Exactly. Old school ethics. Um,
I mean, did I need this computer? Well, yeah, my Dell's old and it's dying. But did I need it? No. It was a want, but I worked my ass off so I could get it. And
so
I haven't got
therefore,
myself shit since I've
you
worked, honestly.
you 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 worked hard, and you rewarded yourself rather than going out and throwing it in the bar all in one night. You rewarded yourself, and everybody's entitled to one night of screw off time, um, here and there, as long as it's done responsibly. Um, but
What's
all
that?
too often, are we on? Are we set on 21? Uh, where are we set on the age limit at?
Oh, it don't matter.
Um, you know,
I've already check marked the this ain't appro. My whole channel is not appropriate for young kids.
yeah, but there was, if you scroll down on that box, it also there was a advertisement box. Do you want advertisements to appear on your videos?
Fuck no.
And
I
and
ain't
this
getting
is
paid for that shit.
and this is where a lot of people are getting tripped up, is that they're leaving that box unchecked. And
Now,
so,
I did notice that when I went in the advanced settings to set this video up, that was there, and I couldn't uncheck any of that stuff. So yeah, I might have screwed something up. Doesn't matter. I'll put the age restriction on it after the video, after the live stream, like I always do. I mean, I
my,
found that my view on censorship. You
yeah,
know,
you're
set and spin when you reach the elbow, the ride's over.
exactly. I ran into because of the type of stuff the type of job that I have. You know, it's I have to be a little careful on how I word things, but my thought is very simple. I was in quite some time ago. I was introduced or shown a channel by a guy did 10 years hard time in California, 10 years flat on a minor drug charge, a minor fucking drug charge, and all too often, and I'm sure you see these people around you periodically that are just fucking soft.
Well, yeah.
And they have no drive to get anywhere. All they
What? I
want,
mean, why would they?
and that
Hey,
is,
me, the people. Nice to
hey,
see you in my chat. It's been a while.
hey, how you doing? It's I get so sick and tired of some of these slack jaw pieces of shit that they don't stand up and dust themselves off and do the hard things to better themselves. And
Well, I need to. I mean, I've got some experience in that little category there. It's a systems design. I mean, I've done this. It's part of the broken systems that I kind of got skirted into and skirted out of real quick. But it's designed to keep them in. They're not.
right.
It's not designed to get them out. So they don't want to give them any benefits. They don't want to fuck the way it is now. Try to get a job as being a convicted felon. You're not going to get one unless you go through a staffing agency, and you're going to get the worst jobs ever.
Well, even
And it's designed to keep you. I mean, fuck Ohio. It's got one of the worst fucking laws ever that the FBI or the feds used to have.
well,
And then the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional and the feds got rid of it. But here, Ohio, they have it. And every year, the Supreme Court has to rule on 10 thousands of cases saying that if this person served their time, they're not to be on probation. If they max out their sentence, they're not to be on probation. But yet, here in Ohio, oh no, we're gonna make you do 3 to 5 years probation after you
Wisconsin's
did your time.
Wisconsin is the same exact way. They make you do at least if you do 5 years down, you're doing at least anywhere between half to 5 years on paper. And then they will wait
But
until
does
you,
Wisconsin? But does Wisconsin try to violate a
yes, they
person
do.
within the first 30 days that fast to get them
Um,
back in the system?
no,
I mean,
they wait until about the 4.5 year mark, and then they gank your ass back in.
yeah, because here's the argument that I have with the prison systems and the private sector. You know, I don't want them private because the private sector is what's caused all the problems. The private sector has brought in people that just don't give a fuck. It's a money. You're cattle. We're going to make
Well,
money every time you come back. We're going to get
well, the,
paid from the state, the government.
well. Here's a perfect case.
Then they
Uh,
strip. Then here, I don't know how it is anywhere else. Well, I do. I plenty of friends have been in and out, and they've stripped everything out of there. There's no education. They've stripped the college out.
yep,
They've stripped any vocation that you can learn, trades
yep.
that you can learn. They made it so you're going to come back. I mean, and they're sending people to prison for petty ass shit that shouldn't be there. But the whole opioid epidemic that we still have, they were constantly sending people, oh, you got an opioid charge, you got a drug charge, we're going to send you to prison, we're going to give you that number, we own you, you're a slave to the system.
Well, here's the kicker. A lot of times, what they will turn around and do is, even if, and I've seen this in a few cases, where even if
Damn,
you
I should have
if
bought beer.
if you don't have a firearm involved, they'll use a drop gun, or they will wait until they get back to the station house, and they will photograph a firearm that was in. They will drag your car back to the impound lot, and where they can more thoroughly go through your car,
Hmm.
and they will photograph a weapon is that has already been in the system, and then they'll slap a firearms charge on you as well. Now, there's a perfect
Yep.
case. Everybody remembers the Jamie Kloss case out of Wisconsin. Almost everybody remembers the Jamie Kloss uh, homicide case. She was a little girl that was kidnapped and was held for 81 days until she escaped. You know where that piece of garbage is being housed? In New Mexico.
That's actually one place I wouldn't want to go to jail at or
He
prison.
he has been in no less than 18 fights set in the last since he got there, um just over 90 days ago. And people are New Mexico is like, this guy is incorrigible because he incites these situations. And I'm like, so why don't you return him back to Wisconsin, where his sentence was originated out of, and not violate? Um, because even though he is a ward of the state by law, when you're sentenced in court, it states the state of whatever state you are sentenced in. Doesn't mean that you can be put on a bus and sent wherever the hell it is. It does not mean that. But yet, this is still going on. And the Supreme Court has ruled on this. In fact, they've ruled on it more than once. And, you know, but the biggest problem is that many people, they don't want to give anybody a chance, whether
No.
their offense was 20 years ago or 20 months ago. um Even if it's a drunk driving. I mean, my God, I seen a report just the other day. A gentleman from the central part of the state just got hit for his 15th OWI. Number 15. Thoughts?
I mean, damn, if he got hit for his 15, he should be in fucking prison for the rest of his life, honestly.
He should be under the prison, because I know if that was me, that's what the case would be.
Well, not here, but in Michigan, fuck, they got the three strikes, three strikes and you're outlaw. I
Wisconsin is
mean,
the same
fuck.
way.
Thankfully, Ohio don't have that, but, because, I mean, even that law is stupid. That's not stupid. I want to take that back. Some people actually deserve to be there.
That law, that three strikes law, should be applied to violent offenders only.
I agree there. Not for petty drug trafficking or drug possession. Because, I mean, yeah, for those that don't understand it, your punk ass possession charges can land you On the third one, in prison for the rest of your life.
It's pathetic. And now, there's a lot of people, even in the prepper community, as this purge is beginning. There's a lot of people that are worried that it's quite possible that a lot of them could get caught up or tagged, and swept up before the wheels fall off the machine.
You bring up a good point that I've been wanting to talk about for a while,
Run
especially
it.
towards these YouTube preppers. I mean, yeah, I'm a prepper myself, but you've seen me. Do how much shit do I show?
Exactly. How much shit do you see me show?
I don't show shit. I talk about it from time to time, but I don't show you what guns I got, what knives I've got, what I've got. I don't show you bug out routes unless it's something that's piqued my interest that I want to that I've made changes to. Then I'll show you. But other than that, no. In this day and age, people's got to. You guys have been brainwashed to share everything. You don't
And
share everything.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
don't
basically, you're just
share.
telling people what you got. Okay,
Exactly.
you might not be showing me all of it, but I know you have that, and I'm gonna say, well, if you got that, you got a little bit more, and I can tell by by watching people's streams and stuff. Okay, you're a little financially, you financially doing good because you're affording all this stuff. Okay, so if you're showing me this, I know you got more. I'm gonna stay away from you, or you're an easy mark. That's why people don't get it. Just like people want to share the locations wherever they're at. I'm sorry. I know several people that's had stalkers and shit. You don't do that. I mean, whatever happened to the common sense laws and rules of things?
Well, there that
I mean, I
that
don't want people to know where I'm at 24/7.
I mean that brings up a there's actually a case that there's a gentleman from northern Wisconsin. His crime, and he's facing 3 felony uh, convictions. He was served a restraining order because he followed the doctrine of another YouTuber, and he is currently sitting in a county jail awaiting extradition to Florida to stand charges on 3 felony charges of cyber stalking, cyber harassment, and all the videos that he had made, uh, threats, and he still continues in his jail cell to make uh, legitimate threats, in the direction of this person who happens to be an attorney to boot. I mean, it does not get any more asinine than that. I'm sorry. You know, it's the level of stupidity that I'm seeing in the YouTube community. It, I think, is a driving force as to why this COPA Act, excuse me, in part, uh, after YouTube got sued, uh, hundreds of it was like $138 million or something like that. Um, YouTube and Google got spanked. Um, you know how long, and you and I have been fighting and grinding for 2.5, almost 3 years, and it's the same crap all the time. And I mean, it's like I sat in on a show, was it a couple weeks ago, and I asked the channel owner if, since I would be a part of the show, if I could add it into my live stream, and that I would need an email from him giving me that permission. He sent me the email right away. And as soon as I went to add it, YouTube notified me if I did not remove it immediately, I would be hit with a hard strike.
I mean, that's YouTube. I mean, we all know YouTube's full of fucking. Yeah, yeah. I'm
It's
not gonna
fuckery.
go there.
It's fuckery. Is what it is. Um,
Oh, speaking of YouTube, YouTube, fuck you. I want to know why you're fucking playing with my settings. Not this channel, which is surprising, but my main channel under Drew Lima. I got hit, or I got a notification about a video stream that I shared, which thank you. I want to thank YouTube too, because I didn't realize I still had that I actually did the video and have that video recorded of how certain groups like Muslims treat their women for ripping pages out of a Christian Bible or Quran or burnt. Oh no, she threw the Quran in the trash. And there was this video. It showed what happened, what they did to her. And I mean, it was gruesome. I had actually shared that whole video in a live stream on my other channel, and I know for a fact I age restricted it, but somehow the age restriction came off. So I got a notification that YouTube age restricted it. And I'm like, wait, I know that video was age restricted because I knew it would give me a strike because of what was shown in the video. I mean, it was gruesome, but it also goes to show what I've stated in the past how, there's more than one side of the story here. There's more one views, but the violence, the oppression that goes towards women in that particular sect is just wrong. I mean, they beat this woman to death. And when after she was probably dead well after the fact, it didn't stop there. The video was gruesome, but yeah, it's on YouTube.
it it's I spend a little bit of time. I don't get to watch as many. I mean, I'm sub to like 390 different channels, and that's across um, both political, prepping, music, news based. It's all across all spectrums. And what people don't seem to understand is that Christians, by and large, are the minority, no matter how you dice it or slice it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
and God forbid if you go into another country, um, you're you automatically have a target. I just got here a couple days ago um, notified of a sentencing of a situation that happened last year uh, up in Maryland of a couple that got jumped, and it was an attempted robbery. And of course, the individual was uh, Somali,
of course.
and but what makes
Oh,
this even more interesting is the same day that I got that information, there was a Customs and Border Patrol video that came out of 7 boats on the West Coast that contained no less than 11 Chinese coming onto the Southern California region. I find that a little bit interesting. So before people want to go spinning that 80% of 80 or 90% of the people that are invading or trying attempting to come into this country illegally are of they're either Mexican or
Oh hell no.
majority of
Not
them,
even close.
it's about a 60%. According to recent CBP reports, only 60% come from Mexico and Latin America. 60%.
I I wouldn't even say it's 60%. That's the part that fucking's always irritated the shit out of me about this whole argument about the border. Is the fact that we've got these radicals trying to come in. We've got people coming in that does not want what we have here in this country at all. I mean, I have no problem against the ones that want to come over here, integrate into our system, become U.S. citizens, do it the proper way. But that's
like
not what
our
we're getting. The
like our,
majority,
like our ancestors did.
well, yeah, it's like our ancestors, like my mom did, and these people don't care about our teachings, our morals, our philosophies, our way of life. They're only here for one thing: to infiltrate and just wait for the opportune moment. That's something that's why I've tuned out of politics. But I'm getting sick and tired of hearing the CW word thrown around. And it's getting worse when you hear politicians start throwing it around. For people don't know my slang on the CW word, simple Civil War. And I'm tired of hearing preppers talk about it as well
And that's why I
because you
don't
don't know
use it.
because you can't even begin to imagine what you're facing. It's not
Well,
going to be what you've read in the history books because it ain't going to be south versus north. It's going to be neighbor versus neighbor, friend versus friend, family versus family. It's going to be far worse than anything you can ever imagine.
my take, and I got into a rather heated dispute with somebody just recently, and it's been in the last month. Unless you've ever been to war, been in a war zone, that was classified there as a actual war zone where it was actual hostile fire, i.e., a veteran. Um, unless you've been in a war zone and you know what it's like to have shots coming at you and repetitively for days and days and days, envision what that would be like for, oh, say 3 to 5, maybe 7 years. How many people out there actually have the intestinal fortitude to handle that?
Exactly. It goes back to what I posted on Twitter, which I have to be careful with because I'm not supposed to talk about shit that happens at work. But it goes back to what I posted on Twitter. And this was training I had clear back in the 90s. You know, it was instinct that kicked in. It wasn't me knowing what I was fucking doing because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was just pure instinct. I knew from all the training I had what to do. I also knew from what I was told during orientation what I had to do to cover my ass for my job.
Yep.
I haven't really talked about what happened. I'm not going to, but it goes. That's how important having just simple first aid CPR training is, because
and
you don't know. I never had to use it up until a couple weeks ago, ever, and it was
my
instinct.
my
And it
my
goes same
thought
like you were talking about with the military aspect, people that have served, that fought. It's an instinct. It automatically kicks in. People that don't have that, they're gonna there comes in the flight or fight experience.
and
Most people are gonna flight or they're gonna freeze and not know what to do.
and my and this leads to another I asked a CBP agent flat out, um, strictly off the record. I said, what are the actual numbers of people coming across the border illegally, approximately, in Minnesota? And he took his sunglasses off and he tucked them on his shirt and he said,
Hey,
I
Bree,
can,
keep talking for a minute. I'm
yeah,
gonna step away from the computer.
all right. And he said, point blank, he said, majority of those people who come across the border up there usually end up landing in or around the Twin Cities region. We truly don't have an accurate count. Now, I live in the upper Midwest, and and Minnesota is a border region for me. So for me, that's a concern. When an agent tells me they don't even have a clue, that is a major concern. And that should be a concern for anybody who lives, whether you're in, in the heartland or you live on the East Coast or the West Coast or on the South Coast. It really doesn't matter. It you really need to start to begin to pretty much have your head on a swivel and really pay attention no matter what, because when not even they have an idea of what is going on, you really need to watch and be completely and totally omnipresent. And it boggles the mind. Now these are people who are supposed to be on the front line and keeping an eye on the situation at all times, or at least 90% of the time. But when I look, and anybody can look at what the CBP budget is for this year, for 2019, 2020, I think you will be astounded at what their actual uh, budget is. And they have not only the entire southern border they got to worry about and staff, they also have the northern border. And uh the biggest thing is when you're out and about walking around in your communities, be listening to the languages that are being spoke around you, because that's going to be your very first indicator as to what is going on around you and what what may or may not, um, and see what the frequency of those visitors, and we'll use that term loosely, visitors, um, how frequent they tend to show up, um, and be not necessarily paranoid about it, but just be make little mental notes, little exercise I like to use is the OODA loop. Um, and that is something that um, almost every agency uh, in the government uses. Welcome back, Drew. Um, my headset kicked out. Um, the OODA loop, everybody should study that and learn what the OODA loop is, because that's amazing. And
Yeah, your headset is cutting in and out.
there's a back. It should be back because I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
it's back.
Um, Me, if you want, I can send you a video. A good friend of mine who lives in the South um, laid it out really good, but there are a lot of videos out there um, on and that is a very good training exercise, and it really does increase situational awareness um way way beyond. Most of the military uses it. Most law enforcement also use it as well. And if I can do anything to help educate people, I that is what I'm going to do. Okay. Um I just got to find the right link. Oh gosh.
Smoke another one.
Yeah, maybe about three more. Um but yeah, that's going to I was doing very good for a while on the quitting thing, and then I had an oops, and yeah, it I ended up picking it back up, and yeah, it I had went 10 days without a cigarette,
Damn.
and something happened, and uh, all hell let loose, and I was back on the butt once again. So yep, but it is what it
Yeah, I
is.
can't go without the cig and coffee.
You know,
Or the cig and crown.
the cigarettes is one thing, but uh the and again, you brought up um another valid point, um something that I was talking to a buddy of mine who's he's pretty hardcore, and he's like, if things were to ever go south, um either a have a good stash of that sort of like your nicotine, your caffeine, things like that. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I look at um alcohol from a medicinal situation.
There is medicinal situations for the alcohol. I mean, and for those that live in the South, you know it. You keep fucking a bottle of Shine up under your most of them keep them right up under their sinks. It's medicine.
What about the okay? No wonder why I have Southern DNA.
I
um,
mean, and we all know it's good for cleaning wounds. I mean, there's many medicinal purposes for alcohol, including wines. I mean, there's plenty of scientific theories and facts to
yep.
back that.
It's not theory.
I mean,
It's
anything's good for you as long as it's in moderation.
right, right. But I actually was going to do a video about the barter system.
Oh, that's perfect bartering tool.
Exactly. Um, and a lot of people they don't think about all these everyday things that are that we take for granted today, um like the a high quality CB, what kind of value that could be down the road.
Right? Well, there's something people need to actually know about CBD though.
No, not not CBD.
Okay.
Citizens band radios.
Oh, all right. I was going to say
Um,
CBDs. You can't store them for long periods of time. They change. The chemical process changes in them, and it's like, yeah. I mean, it still works, but not like it should.
right. Um, you know, I was talking to an old, and
Ha!
when I say old, um,
Yeah,
now
we're not gonna talk about age here. Not in a little
I
bit. I'm not in the mood for that one.
now
I feel my age right now, and that's bad.
you'll feel it even more in the morning.
Yeah, if I keep drinking this Crown, I will. I already felt it
uh,
going down the stairs.
it my thought really is quite simple. Back after the days of prohibition, and I actually, uh, my kid kind of challenged me and got my brain to looking. So because I live in on a border state area, just what the laws are for each state that of the states that border me, and the laws on it are so vague. Um, literally, one state says you can have you can make up to 5 gallons, but only be in possession of 1 gallon. Another state says you can. Uh, so what the
Talk
hell are you?
about the fucking hypocrisy of that. You can make
Uh,
up to 5 gallons, but only legally have 1 gallon.
yeah, be in
But yet
possession of
it's
one
illegal
gallon.
to sell it. But it's
A- a-
illegal to sell it. So
but
how do you
here's
get
the
rid of the
catch.
4 gallons?
But here's the catch. Here's where they really catch you. Um, to have the actual copper pot is not a crime. To have the thumb cat the condenser worm is not a crime. Or the thumb keg is not a crime. It is when all three are connected as one, but they will wait until they get you on the give it away stuff too. It's called the distribution of untaxed spirits. That in itself is an actual charge. But what they will do is they will wait until you're actually mashing in, and then they'll wait until the worm starts to run. Then they can get you for an additional charge. So you, in the beginning, you're looking at 1 to 3 charges. In the end, you end up with anywhere from 15 to 30 years for a 5 to 15 gallon run. And it depends on the state that you're in. And let's not talk about the financial forfeitures.
Oh yeah, financial force. But yeah, no. What you said, and let's not. I mean, depending on the state you live in, like here in Ohio, they'll just seize your shit.
Yeah. Oh, and that's an automatic. Um, in all the states that border me, that is an automatic. That is an automatic. The land, the house, the car, the boat, absolutely everything. They will even seize your dog.
Oh yeah, which is technically unconstitutional, but hey,
And
they don't care. They make the rules that go as they see fit. But yet, even during the Prohibition days, if anybody's actually studied that history, it's lovely history to study
it really is.
because the fucking president was buying the goddamn shit. In fact, the president was buying the goddamn shit from Popcorn Sutton.
Yep. And if you really want to, uh, and if you really love your country and you really want to know everything about uh, the actual culture of it, our first 5 presidents were shiners themselves, and this country funded the first 100 years of this country's existence by the still. So if you really want to get real technical, um, so there is that little tidbit.
Because I'm a stickler on the history part of things. Most people have forgotten their history. They have. I mean, most people don't even. Well, I blame that on the education system because they teach what they want to teach and they leave the important part out. But hey, that's our job to teach that history.
And
Yeah, maybe some people don't agree with alcohol and stuff like that. That's cool. I get that. I
but
can
it
see
should
why
not
some people don't.
but it should not be our responsibility. It should be the school who is supposed to be teaching real history, not just American history, but world history as well.
History, yes. So, I mean,
And
if you study world history, I mean, I've studied all history. Clear, I was a big study of religious history too, and
there
people
are
have
some,
forgotten where they've come from.
yeah,
They've forgotten what our founding foundations are based on. I mean, it's I mean, it goes back to that brainwashing psychological bullshit. I mean, people don't think they're being manipulated, but you're being manipulated every day. As soon as you turn your internet on, as soon as you turn your TV on, I mean, the subliminal messages are loaded. And people, here's the part that kills me as an occultist. If you guys knew what you were doing every time you send a meme, you wouldn't even look at a meme.
yep,
I'm sorry. It's just the facts. It's sigil magic. A meme is nothing more than sigil magic. And the worst part is, and this is me talking bad on the occultist. Whoever the dumbasses were that gave this information freely to people who shouldn't have it, you created a lot of the problems we're seeing today.
I would agree.
Simple as that. I mean, no difference. I mean, I heard somebody, I think it was Dabu Be Rich, posted something talking about, well, look at the symbology. Well, let's look at the symbology of things. I'll give you the best prime example, McDonald's. If I show you the M, the golden arches, you know what it is instantly. That is a sigil. It's not a symbol, it's a sigil. It's designed to trigger. It triggers exactly that. You see it, you know what it is, and you start craving that. It's been part of marketing since marketing started. But now we got everyday people using memes and they're doing the same stuff and don't even realize what they're doing. This technology, it's cool, but it's dangerous because people don't realize what they're doing. They don't realize what they're playing with, But then when people like me come around and talk about have knowledge in that stuff, oh, we're the evil ones. We're the bad guys. Huh? Call me what you want. I really don't care. I quit giving a fuck a long time ago, honestly. But yet I'll sit here and talk about it. I'll share the experiences that I have, the knowledge that I have, the wisdom that I have. Why? Because it's a tool. It's a tool for you. If I make you aware of something, that's a trigger. That allows you to protect yourself against it. You know, we can get into debates of philosophy and all that kinds of crap. It's just a debate. The fact is, there's shit in this world that it just can't be explained. You know, our founding fathers knew it. Many of them knew it. Many of them weren't what they claimed certain aspects of they claimed to be. There's a reason why they said church and state needed to be separate. Why? Because that's part of their history. Their history was many of their forefathers fled Europe because of the persecution of the church. You know, I actually wrote an academic paper on academia about the words heathen, pagan. That was another word. I can't remember. Too much to drink right now, but there's another word. But either way, heathen, pagan, it works just fine. Heretic was the other word. It was created by the Catholic Church. If you take the words to their root origins, where they originated from, when they're first used, it was to oppress. It was to suppress the free thinker, the common folk, because the common folk, if they were free thinkers, they would see past the dogma. There's nothing wrong with spirituality, but they would see past the dogma. The dogma is meant to control, enslave, and control you. It goes back to the whole caste system, the broken systems that I started so long ago that I probably need to get back to. We still live in a day and age where we're still in that caste system. We're in that caste system with priests, rulers, kings, queens. We just changed the label. We call it a democracy. Well, look at our democracy. We have a king. We don't call him a king, we call him a president. We have a Congress. We have our nobles, many of which act as priests, pushing their religious views and values upon the common folk. Nothing's changed. We're the poor, we're the working class, we're the middle class. We got all these classes. Nothing has changed in centuries. We're still repeating the same old system, the system that's meant to divide, enslave, put you in a group. Nothing has changed. We just changed the label. We call it something different. How many times has the Christian Bible been reworded to modern day times to where it's lost its true meanings from when it was originally written? Because now these old words, these old English words, don't apply to what these new age words mean. That's why it's so important to understand your history. I'm not sitting here knocking religion. You'll never hear me do that. I don't care what your belief is. That's your belief. That's your faith. It's important. It's important that we all have faith in something, believe in something. But I'm not going to sit there and judge you by it. But yet they use that as a tool to pit us against each other. Oh, this group's evil because they believe in this, which goes against our dogma. Does it actually go against Scripture? No. Especially if you believe in the New Testament. We're to love one another. We're not to judge unless you are spiritual. And let me tell you something. I don't think you can find a spiritual being left on this earth right now because we're all guilty of something.
Yeah, I got into that debate with a couple of people from a specific group. I'm not going to mention their names. Uh, Thanks for carrying on. I had to grab a battery charger and go to the grab coffee and realize that I forgot to push the start button on the coffee pot.
I'm going to need coffee here shortly because Crown's not going to cut it.
No, it'll
Oh, if
cut
I
it.
drink any more Crown, I'm going to, yeah, if I drink any more Crown, I'm just going to be talking about stuff I probably shouldn't be talking about on this channel.
It will cut you to ribbons. um, but in all seriousness, though, you know, uh,
Hey,
because
go figure. I picked the first podcast to come back when I'm actually drinking.
you never know. You know that's one of the unique things about when we get together. You really never know where the conversation is actually going to go.
Hence why I titled this one Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. I just knew I have a lot to say. I've been quiet for too damn long, and I have been quiet for too damn long. There's been shit that I've been wanting to talk about that I've pushed under the rug. I mean, I haven't got into the fucking tweet that pissed me the fuck off
Yeah, there's
that I had to apologize for, and I'm not, didn't really. I just didn't want to argue because I didn't want. I think you know what I'm talking about. Me with that news reporter.
yep, yep.
I
And
mean, what did I say? I didn't say nothing. I was being positive. I couldn't, I was just fucking glad to see something positive finally in a tweet.
and that, see, that's where Twitter, um they do everything. It's my personal belief anyhow.
Oh, I
uh,
don't blame Twitter on that one. I blame her on that one. She took. I don't even see how you could take what I said out of context.
I looked at the tweet and I screenshotted it, and then I saved it because I wasn't feeling the greatest that day, and I had a lot on my plate that day. And I went back and I looked at the entire thread, and I could not in any way see how that could have been taken any way sideways at all. What that told me is that there are too many people that are so thin skinned that they cannot see, or they've been programmed to see things in such a narrow scope. And for those people who choose to want to see things in such a narrow scope, well, I got one thing to tell those people. Um, when you get to the elbow, the ride's over. You know,
Oh, let me. I say it the best. You see that? Set and spin. When you reach the elbow, the ride's over. Fuck you.
yeah, but I wrap mine with motorized
I
razor
don't wrap
wire.
mine. I don't lube it. Nothing.
I wrap it in motorized razor wire. I don't play. Um, but I think in general, Twitter's algorithms are set in a way so that a positive tweet will never go viral.
Well, that's the part that killed me. Her tweet was positive, and what I said was positive, but
I
somehow
thought
she
so.
turned it around. It was negative and it straight attacked me.
Yeah, I saw that.
And this is the person I kind of know and got the utmost respect for. I didn't see that one coming. It's like, fuck, it's just been a bad week. I mean, that was like the third time somebody took my comments. That's why I post. I'm not commenting on anybody's shit anymore. Fuck that. It's like the third
It's
time that I had dealt with what happened at work, you know, and
Yeah,
it
that
was
was just
like,
a
I've
horse
had
shit week.
enough.
That was a horse shit week that week for you. Um, but all too often, uh, if I see things that come up on my scope that if it happens once, it's coincidence. If it happens twice, eh, I might need to take a little deeper introspective look. But if it
Well,
happens a third time, I really need to back away and detach from
who, me, go
everything.
mute? Never.
Um, it's for me. I have to detach and go back into that retrospective look at where I'm as a person, and see what kind of uh, vibes I'm really throwing out there, because usually that means that there's something off about me too. That it's not just by accident that all the garbage is going out there, and it keeps blowing up in my face. And I don't know if it's because I've kind of conditioned myself in that manner that by the
I do
third,
the same thing.
it's just I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or if it's just one of those things that I get sick of it. And then when I feel the time is right, I will come back up and get back to doing what I do best. I've never advertised myself as a people person. Um,
Oh,
I,
I'm very antisocial.
you know,
I've
I
actually been accused that I don't play well with others too. So, and it's the truth. I don't play well with others.
and yet you and I play very
I mean,
well
if I
together.
don't, it's your energies. It's your energies. If I'm drawn to you for a reason. It's because your energies draw me there, and I like your energies. We'll get along just fine. But there's just certain people. It's like that's what it. This is the whole my whole issue with the internet, social media, and all that crap. You got to be friends with everybody. Fuck that. What are
Yeah, I ain't
you?
about
What are
that.
you to me? You're fucking negative. All you post is negative shit. Why do I want anything to do with you?
Right on.
Then I see people that follow me on, especially on Twitter. Twitter's the worst. Follow me. What the fuck are you following me for? I mean, especially this person, news reporter, legit news reporter, by the way. What the fuck are you following me for?
My thought really is, I kick ass. I and I'm very good at what I do. And I'm very unapologetic about it. Um,
Unfortunately, I was more apologetic than I probably should have been, but I
you
have
know,
respect for the person because I don't know. I guess I'm just a stupid sucker at times.
but for the first time ever, you know, for those that uh remember a lot of my
Oh yeah,
older
do
videos,
remind me tomorrow to age restrict this thing.
you know,
I think I've been more fluent with the F bomb than I have in about a year.
you
I
know,
don't think I was this fluent with the F bomb when I was doing fucking smoke and toke show. Oh
yeah,
wait, other words fell on that one.
yeah, there were a lot of things that fell out of that one. But
I'm actually shocked I didn't get no strikes for those.
yeah, I'm a
Now that
little
I actually
shocked,
step back and think about it.
but it's my back a few years ago, I posted a video that I I probably shouldn't have. Uh, you know, um, Part of acting smart, being smart, doing smart things is
Hmm.
sometimes discretion is the better part of valor.
It's a learning experience.
And
I mean,
and
I learned from those videos that I did.
but when
I mean, after sitting back listening to them, when I heard certain words fall, like, what the fuck? How'd they come out?
and you probably laughed so hard you had coffee coming out your nose.
Yeah, and I quickly age restricted them too.
But there were a lot of I actually hear
Especially the one. Oh my god! If you guys knew who was on that podcast and who her daddy was, you probably would fucking want to kick my ass. Honestly, because yeah, her daddy's yeah.
yeah,
We're
we
not
won't
going
go
there because
there.
I don't want to fucking.
Yeah,
But yeah, oh my god,
it
I'm
was
shocked I'm not fucking buried somewhere where nobody can find me.
yeah. Um I actually found myself, my channel is goes back to 2011, and I've only once have I ever used a public platform to literally come out and actually attack somebody. only
I've
once.
never done that.
Um, and I didn't just attack one. I attacked two. I went after Twitter and YouTube.
Oh,
Not,
okay, that's a
not
different story. I thought you meant a person.
and
That's
that video.
persons.
Um, I actually ended up earlier, about a month ago, even before this COPPA bullshittery came up. Uh, I
Yeah, let me ask you something real quick before I don't mean to sidetrack. What's your opinion on that? I'm actually kind of for it because I'm not a children's channel. I don't
well,
want young kids listening to my channel, honestly.
I've kind of
I drop the F word too much.
I've changed a lot of my platform to more of a prepper survivalist,
Right, you have.
and I went more um PG friendly.
UPG my ass.
Well, occasionally you gotta let your fucking hair down and not be an anal retentive bitch.
That's like me going PG. Would never happen.
But I went as family friendly as
And yeah,
possible.
I
A-
do get why you did. You have to in that particular genre, niche,
And
whatever you want to call the label.
and you know it's worked for me to a degree, but I was very surprised that that video sat for nearly 4 years with no dings, no nothing. And finally I was like, I was going through my channel looking at um the viewership and the overall views and whatnot. And I was like, because I was uh starting to get some pretty intense viewer feedback, which is pretty new for me, and creates a extra amount of work. And I decided, I was like, um um I decided that, I've got one video. Yeah, some of my early stuff, there's a lot of profanity and whatnot, but that video in and of itself was, after I sat back and I listened to it, I was like, if I was to ever catch a hard strike, it would be for that video alone. And so I decided that in the interest of the channel, if it was going to stand a chance, because I had been hearing scuttle that there was new stuff coming and that there was new rules coming down the pike. Um, if I didn't want to get blasted off the into infinity and beyond, that video was going to have to go. And so I did the only thing that I could, and that was to do something I've never done, and that's to delete a video. I've never done that ever. And now, how do I feel about COPPA? What is interesting is when I got the notifications about it, I did my due diligence, I did my research, and that in it, and by its face, it sounds all right. But the very day when I opened the app, because it first showed up on my phone at like 11:45 at night. It showed up on a notification. And I was like, oh. So I tried to figure out how to do it from my phone. Well, that wasn't going to happen. Um, so I got to thinking about this, and I was like, this, what what other kinds of garbage are we going to have to subject to um in order to pass this? um I would agree. I don't know how I haven't managed to get a strike yet either. um but that video, that notification really made me think, because there was a whole bunch of legislation that came out that had passed the House and was going to the Senate that next day, and was sure to pass the Senate um, very rapidly. Um, and it really made me stop and think, okay, what other bullshit is going to get swept up in this? And then
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
and then I hear that um, the revised um, Patriot Act was going to be signed into.
Yeah, catch me up to date on that.
I haven't
I
done.
I I've seen a couple of posts. Some people talking about something about new Patriot Act. I've seen a couple of memes about it. But like I said, I've been all work, no play, and the last thing I wanted to delve into is this fucking negative bullshit, fucking politics that we got. I'm sick and tired of. Well, you know my opinion on most of our politicians are all treasonous bastards to begin with. But hey,
Well,
that's my opinion. There's like opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and well, I'm an asshole. So
most of the only way they were going to get um a a national red flag law passed through
oh
the House and Senate and get it to the president's desk, the only way that that was going to happen is if they piggybacked it onto something else.
yeah, they're notorious for doing. They'll put fucking bill that we need to have, so they're gonna hide it up into this so they can pass it through, force the president to sign it.
Well, here's the skinny in a nutshell. I follow a fair number of pro 2A channels,
Oh
and
yeah, so do I.
um a couple of very large channels at that. Um and in a nutshell, if they allowed like the Nix system to actually do its job, and the people behind the counter to do their due diligence, then the Nix system in and of itself, and the state in and of itself, separate and away from the federal system, between the Nix and the federal, there is enough legislation on the books. Now, would that stop any of those events? No. I've looked, as many people know, I spend a fair amount of time um, dissecting, like Me the People does as well on her channel. you look at um their most of the juvenile uh people who have committed very heinous acts, like the most recent one where a 17-year-old used a 45. A 17-year-old. I'm sorry, but in all 50 states, you must be 21 years or older to purchase a handgun and handgun ammunition, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, you're correct on that, which I think is totally bullshit because as soon as you enter the military at some cases at the age of fucking what, 16?
You can take your you can do your basic at 16. You can do your AIT at 17. Um, and
You can own, but through the military, you can own a gun, smoke cigarettes, drink beer, all before the age of 21. You can buy those things on through their commissary on the barracks, the
you can
bases.
actually you cannot, if you are under, even if you are enlisted, um if you are now if you're 18, they will allow you to buy your own sidearm, but that gun must not, excuse me, tool, um because it is a tool. um
Yes.
it must not leave the base unless you are going, being called up and going, uh going into the theater of battle. Otherwise, that gun has to be secured at the armory, because most bases do not allow you to open carry.
Right. That I do know. But
But
but fuck for real. I mean, your fucking military ID is pretty much a get out of jail free card in most cases,
even still,
unless you don't kill somebody.
that last one where the individual was 17, you and his father had just died a couple of weeks before. How did the individual come up with the money to buy that 45 ACP?
Yeah, they ain't cheap, especially the one I want. I mean, the
No.
one I want's almost 2K.
Um, but it's one of those situations that it's not a open and shut case. And then we hear, just a few days after that, that some, after an event that happened um, almost 10 years ago now, um, some money hungry pieces of
Oh,
excrement.
go ahead and say it. This ain't PC. How
No,
many f bombs have I dropped?
no, I'm not even going to give them the dignity of calling them a piece of shit. They're a piece of excrement at this point. They're about at the amoeba point. Um, want to sue Remington. Um,
That should never be allowed to even happen.
and now the most recent is the city of Baltimore wants to
Yeah,
jump on
yeah.
board and
Don't get me
sue.
started on Baltimore.
Baltimore has a lot bigger problems than
Yeah, when a cop's supposed to testify against his own and he mysteriously fucking dies. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going there.
I mean, it's just,
I'm,
what's next? Are they going to, if they're going to do that, then they better go after Tesla for the 27 people who have lost their lives because of their autonomous cars.
Yeah, I can't talk about
Uh,
that. I'd
you,
get fired.
I mean, it's just one of those things that people need to pull their head out of their fourth point of contact. And if you don't know what that is, as somebody that's graduated from jump school, or if you're a complete and total buffoon, it's get your head out your ass. Um, I'm proud to say I graduated jump school. I'm proud of that, and I graduated in the top 3% of my class.
Hey, me, the people actually brings up a good point here. You don't want to be a DUI probably 12 to 24 hours after last drink. Yeah, you don't. And my personal opinion, obviously, I'm not going anywhere tonight. Obviously. And here's my personal opinion on that. If I have one beer, that's 2 hours minimum before I will drive. And usually, if I have one beer, I've probably had more than that with the shots involved. Because I am quite a Jägermeister fan.
Well, and that brings up another
And we all know Jägermeister takes 45 minutes to kick in.
and
So,
that brings up another very good point in and
and
of
with the
itself.
holidays coming, hey, if you guys are going to drink, don't drive. I mean, hey,
Don't
I'm the
come to
biggest fuck up
Wisconsin.
in the world,
Don't
and I won't
come.
get behind the fucking wheel after I've had a drink without waiting 2 hours until I know I'm sober and can pass a DUI. In fact, a lot of gas stations. Well, I don't know about here in the north, but in South Carolina or North Carolina, they sold fucking DUI fucking breathalyzers in the fucking gas station, and they actually work, which shocked me. Because
What
I actually knew a couple people, so I could test the fucking one bought in the gas station to the real one, and it's almost pinpoint accurate.
what a lot of people don't know is several states in the upper Midwest are
Oh
have le-
yeah.
they have legislation on the table that as soon as the new year hits, it will either pass right after they come back from Thanksgiving or um, right after the first of the year, they will bring it to the table and whisk it right straight to the governor's desk in, I think, 7 of the upper Midwest states. They want to drop it by half of what it currently is. Their goal is to try to drop it to that like what you find on most like your student driver's license, which is absolute sobriety. That's their goal. But it's there's too many things that come into play there that they're not taking into account. The one
They
thing
don't take into account of half the shit.
I think
Wait, they do. I think they do. Honestly, I think they take into account for all that. They put that shit in there on purpose.
the one thing that I think that is probably the most alarming that I seen uh
God, I should not do videos when I'm drinking.
the one thing I seen in this revised Patriot Act, um it was very similar in some ways to the California weapons rules and regulations. It was very similar. And what a lot of people don't take into account, how many states do we currently have that have legislation on the books where they're only allowed 10 rounds, period? That's 9 in the mag and 1 in the chamber.
Now that's something I completely disagree with.
Now, they're in Wisconsin and Iowa. Wisconsin is actually talking about going one step farther. Wisconsin is talking about a maximum of 10 rounds and even removing the military style weapons, even from law enforcement, forcing them to go back to the shotgun. And Iowa is considering similar type laws. And a lot of people in Iowa have no clue that this is coming. It's still on the table. And I see it being on the table for a, a, a fair time because the state of Iowa, they love their long guns and they like to shoot. They like to target shoot. And Iowa also being a open carry, it is a very interesting situation. But they want to do away with open carry, and the end goal, they are talking about adding a $50 surtax for conceal carry. On all new registrations. Exactly. It isn't for everybody. It's only for those who can afford it. Um, and that I think is bullshit.
That's very
And,
yeah, I agree on that part.
and
Yeah, I'm back.
Iowa has a 32 state compact with their CCW permit. But the sad thing is even though like Florida, who is listed as one of their states that accept reciprocity with the state of Iowa, refuses to accept. They will not accept an Iowa CCW. You have to pay, they want you to pay, if you're coming into their state, they want you to 30 days before, they expect you to send them an additional $50. Minnesota doesn't recognize Iowa's CCW at all. Illinois also does not.
It's all about the money.
And my thought is I, when they start wanting to restrict even the law enforcement's ability and ammunition count, now you are endangering their lives too.
Well, yeah, I've heard talk. I mean, like I said, I've been trying to stay out of the politics of things. But I've heard talks where they didn't want to fucking limit you to like you're fucking hunting 3 fucking shots in your fucking shotgun
Yep.
for home defense. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean,
Now,
don't get me
perfect.
wrong. I don't need no more than 3 shots, but you know what? I'd rather have that tube filled and not have to worry about it because if there's more than one intruder or more than one perp or whatever terminology you want to use, I'd rather have the fucking ammo in my gun to cover it.
The perfect case, and I cannot think of a better. For a lot of years, I was kind of on the fence with ARs to an extent. Um,
I've never been on the fence on the ARs.
but other than the fact that they're awesome for varmint hunting, um, and they're great for in for certain applications. They're amazing um, weapons, but I've seen several videos with the most recent of that 8-month pregnant woman out of Florida.
I haven't seen that one.
Um, a pair of burglars, armed burglars, no less, came and it was a home invasion, pistol whipped her husband savagely, fractured his eye orbital, among many other facial and head injuries. She retreated to the bedroom, grabbed the AR, came out, fired 2 rounds, and that AR instantaneously leveled the playing field. It does not get any more crystal clear than that, because the other individual fled and the other guy stumbled about 200 yards and dropped over. It does not get any more crystal clear than that. Now, this woman, in the most fragile state of her life,
Right.
8 months pregnant, doesn't get any much more clearer than that. She had the wherewithal to go to their closet and grab that AR, slap a mag in, rack around, and come out and level the playing field.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I fully agree with that. There's so. I mean, every situation's different. I mean, some situations can be settled with a simple shotgun. In other situations, well, I need something a little bit goddamn bigger
It,
with more rounds and a
exactly.
longer reach.
And that's a you bring up a probably one of the biggest things that I beat home with people in my circle all the time. If you can have all these tools, all these high speed things, all these tactical tools in the world, but if you're not out there training with them,
They're useless.
if you're not out there doing the things, using them, practicing, training as though it was in real life, they're useless. And I know so many people that this falls into. Bear,
Oh, I'm guilty of that myself. I don't put enough range time in
you
where
know,
I should.
I I've I dropped my cigarette.
I mean, I can come up with all the excuses in the world, but I'm still home fucking 90% of the time on the weekends where I could actually go out and put the range time in. I live out in the fucking country.
You
I
know,
just don't. Mm.
my honest opinion.
Ah, that cat's going to town.
Yeah, that's my bear cat. Um, my honest opinion is, what is the true definition of enough range time? What is the true honest amount of training time? It is that terminology, it's dictated person to person to person.
Well, it also depends how familiar you are with the weapon. I mean, every gun shoots differently. This is something I've learned through experience. I mean, everybody loves the AR. I'm an SKS man. I prefer the ghost ring sights. I can't do scope. Why? Because I was never brought up to use a scope. I was brought up to use fucking the iron sights or ghost rings. So for me, I can shoot better at 400, 600 yards with fucking ghost rings or iron sights, whatever you want to fucking call them, compared to a scope because I was never brought up to use a scope. I was taught how to not use a scope. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, if we want to talk practical prepper fucking common sense, you're gonna find how many guns you're gonna find out there with a scope on them, and shit hits fan scenario. You're not,
And this brings up a
but
very,
yet I don't put enough time in with scopes because they're just fucking awkward for me. I mean, if I can
and
hit 600 yards out, bullseye on iron sights or ghost sights, and I can't hit the broadside of a fucking goddamn barn with a fucking scope.
and
Why? Because I've been too damn lazy to put the training in on the scope.
and this brings up a perfectly good, the one of the platforms that I think is maybe the most,
Yeah,
uh
that's the other problem. I want to keep my eye. Actually, I keep my fucking. I want to keep my left eye closed instead of my right eye open. Oh wait, never mind, never mind.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I keep my left eye closed when you're supposed to keep them both open.
most people, that's the perfect platform to mention, because most people truly don't, they think of that weapon, or that tool rather, as a 3 to 700 yard weapon, roughly, topping
Yeah,
out at about 800. That's what
most
most,
people do think that. Yeah.
but in all actuality, with time, training, and practice, that weapon is actually very accurate at distances of beyond 1,500 yards.
Oh yeah.
And this is what people don't seem to grasp, and they wonder why they're, when they're shooting at a, say, a deer, and our deer out here run between 200 to 250 pounds on up to 300, and yet they wonder why that bullet just blows right through them. Well, you've got something that's traveling supersonic. Um,
Right.
Whereas you get out at distances of 700 and 800 yards, that's where that platform really shines. That's why the 308, which is the shell casing it actually uses, it's a cut down 308. It is accurate at 17, 1,800 yards. It's a good intermediate rifle.
That actually me the people bring. be the people perspective brings up a good point. Do bad guys train on weapons? No, I would guess because if ears hear a crack, somebody's calling the man, and nobody wants that. And she's right. I mean, it goes back to the whole principle of this gun debate bullshit. There should be no gun debate because criminals don't buy shit legally. They can't.
Mm-mm.
You know, they're not going to go to the fucking ranges and train where fucking cops show up and train. I'm sorry, some of the ranges I've been, cops show up and train all the time. You're gonna meet a Leo at one of the ranges. Guarantee fucking tee it.
Because usually the range master is either a reserve officer or a part-time officer. Um,
Or ex military.
yeah. Um, but there's it really depends on their location as well. But by and large, no, they don't. They don't train. They might um, do some find an old abandoned apartment building um, to practice maybe uh, uh, yeah, wannabes are worse yet, but I witnessed when I was down in New Orleans before they started really uh, trying to tear down a lot of the old abandoned uh, apartment buildings. They would use those old abandoned apartment buildings to go in and try and do breaches and things like that. I witnessed that firsthand. So to some extent, yeah, some of them actually do, but by and large, you're right. Me, they don't. Um, and I think the wannabes, they're the ones that are the problem. Now, I will be right back. I got to run to the other office. Too much coffee.
Oh yeah, leave the drunk to fucking run the channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so much stupidity in this world. I mean, honestly, the gun debate's ridiculous. Part of me wish we were still back in the wild, wild west. Let's keep it real. I mean, fucking everybody carried a fucking piece. You knew what you're doing, getting into if you fucking robbed a place. You're getting fucking shot. I mean, and honestly, if you look at the fucking criminal statistics from back then to now, well, there's a lot far more crime now than there was then. And let's not even go there because let's look at fucking guns versus knives. Well, if you live in the UK, fucking knife violence is way worse than gun violence here in the US. In fact, it's twice the number. The bottom line is if somebody wants to commit violence, they're going to commit violence and they're going to use any means necessary. It's just how it is. I don't need a fucking gun, a knife to fucking hurt you. I can use a fucking phone book and leave no bruises.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. What did I miss?
Oh fuck yeah. That's good. That's a good one, me people's perspective. She's like
Uh-oh.
lots of laugh. Biden corn pop my ass. And I mean, oh yeah, no, I can't go there. I can't get into politics. I'll get myself in trouble. Way too much trouble. I need to stay silent on that.
I missed that comment. That
Especially
comment.
right now.
Um. they um it's one of the biggest things, and this just dawned on me here about 3 weeks ago. It was the day that the 2020 crop report, both the U.S. and international crop report dropped.
See, I haven't been keeping up with the news, so I'm like out of the loop on a lot of the shit. I mean, I haven't even watched a single debate. That's how
Well,
tired of it I am.
well, you saved yourself about 300 brain cells. Trust me. Um, the same day
Damn, I could
that
smoke those open in a night
um, the same day that
or drink them up in a night.
the the national and international crop reports came out, I was sitting back here in my office, kind of crunching the numbers, looking at things, and kind of comparing the the 2019 numbers and looking at the forecasted weather pattern for both the US and the global situation. And then it dawned on me, and this is by design, um, that they would drop this the same time that I seen an ad pop up on my computer that the Summer Olympic Games are going to happen about 45 days after the primary election.
Huh. Imagine a synchronicity of that bullshit.
And that caper with the Olympic Games usually lingers on for about 21 days.
Uh-huh.
And, and then you go right from there. You have uh, the Special Olympics and Paralympics that
Yep.
usually follow right in there. So you add another 3 weeks into that.
Ow,
So
ow, ow, ow.
so you're talking that puts you right in the middle of uh spring pretty much. And with the amount of extreme wet winter that they're calling for here in the US.
Fuck, they're calling for a brutal winter, not wet.
Well, yeah. Um and
I
then
believe it too, because we already got a taste of it.
yeah. And then by the time the farmers actually can maybe, just maybe, get into the field, if it's still not a lake yet, um, or a advertisement for a
Ooh. Speaking
for
of
uh,
farmers and lakes.
um, a an advertisement for how to make the biggest baddest ass mud truck you can build just to get from point A to point B. Um, then you about my according to my calculations, you're going to end up at about middle of June. You're still going to be in, according to the almanacs and forecasting, we are still going to be in above moderate flood stage. in June, going into July, by then, food prices will have nearly quadrupled.
Right, and they won't go down.
No,
Nothing ever goes down. Everything goes up, nothing comes down.
and
That's always been my bitch about with, oh, let's raise the minimum wage. Fuck you. Prices go up and they never come down, so those states that aren't fucking raising minimum wage, we're getting screwed. But you bring up a good point that I've always wanted to talk about. I don't know how it's like in your area or me, the people's perspectives area, but do your farmers have they all started to change and start to put those plastic fucking yeah, I'm dropping the F bomb too much. I'm apologize now for that, but I'll blame it on the alcohol. Even though it's probably not the case. I just haven't done a stream in a while and I've forgotten my manners, but have they started installing those pipes for irrigation in their fields?
not yet.
Because here's what I've noticed in my area: a lot of the farmers started doing that, and these are farmlands that I've never seen flood my whole life up until last couple of years, and they're flooding. It's like I don't know what they did. I don't know if these plastic pipes or whatever that's for. It's for irrigation. It's to
Yeah, that it's
keep
called
it from doing
tiling.
what it's supposed to do.
It's
Yeah,
called
tiling.
tiling. Yeah, a lot of farmers up here actually do use tiling, but if the rains are coming too hard, what ends up happening
They're
is that
flooding.
it washes out um, either the terracing or the tiling. It'll expose that, or though the grooves that where the water is supposed to go into will get clogged with sediment and such, and then your tiling is useless.
Now, my question is now, like for me, I've noticed these farmlands that never flooded before in the past, no matter how much rain we got, are they flooding?
Um, there I got over towards as far as Strawberry Point, and that's some of the hilliest points in northeast Iowa this year during the height of the flooding, and we are still actually above flood stage. We're at about 12 and a half. But it's and pretty when here we are November 23rd, and we are still um almost at 13 foot for a
Oh
river
yeah.
stage. Um
I mean, St. Joe's River here in fucking where I live, I'm still getting notifications. I've been getting notifications since fucking I got back from North Carolina that it's above flood, and it has been. It's been flooding all year round
and it
since I've
will
got back. I mean, it's
it,
ridiculous. And some of these
and
farmers' fields are ridiculous because they're flooded out. I'm watching guys harvesting just now, harvesting their grain in mid-November. Wow, it's
I mean,
mid-November already. Yeah, that's right. I'm about to be a year old.
it's I mean we're still getting reports, and because I have a scanner that has a pretty good distance on it, I'm getting reports of grain bin fires yet, and big grain bin fires, and that's pretty extreme. That and just the other day, one of the large hog farms in my area just had a catastrophic loss, And one of the why can't they divert the rainwater to their fields? Yeah, it's when I sit and I think about all of the animals that were lost at the beginning of the planting season in the floodwaters, and then the millions of turkeys and chickens and uh, various other
Oh no,
critters.
turkey prices are going up for Thanksgiving.
We've had huge,
Fuck a turkey. I'd
huge.
rather have ham.
Um, there's been over 7 million hogs that have been lost this year alone. Um,
Oh, that's why my ham cost almost $30 today.
and it the irony. I went out. Now here's a kind of a funny. I don't call it funny. I think it was destined by uh higher power. Um, I went out to Walmart, or I was going out to the big box store here about a month and a half, almost 2 months ago. I usually look at the ground and look all around when I get to the store, and I spotted a gift card that was kind of somewhat folded up, and I took it in the store, and I thought, just out of shits and giggles, I thought, well, let's just see if there's anything on it. Here there was $26.86 on that card. That bought 60 pounds of rice. Now, here's the irony in this: most of the rice growing areas in down, like in Arkansas and in that area of the country, are still underwater.
Yeah, we're
And
still got places that are still underwater here.
and what it is really, I mean, get in a better position here. What it is rather strange. Maybe it's weather modification. I don't. I haven't quite figured that out.
Yeah, no, I'm not going there. Nope. I refuse. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, me too. Um, but what it is very interesting is that, by and large, I had a friend of mine check. In fact, I had three different friends in three different areas go to a membership only club. I'm not going to give them any shout outs, um, because I don't do free advertisement. Um, and usually at that particular big box outlet, you could get 50-pound bags of rice and beans for around 15 to $17 on average. Now you can't get anything other than a 20. And it's cheaper to go to my local store and get it there than it is to drive 70 miles to this big box members only club. You know, people don't seem to understand, for whatever reason, Water is one of the most destructive forces on the planet. And it not only destroys the immediate situation, but the long term. Because
Oh
then,
hell yeah! But I don't think how many people realize how damaging wind and water is. It is the two most destructive forces on Earth. I'll be right back. On that note.
all right, you know, it's getting to the point that trying to get any kind of an assurance policy set aside, whether it's um, food for my rodent control devices, i.e., the cats. Yeah, I know you've never heard them called RCDs, rodent control devices. But hey, it works. I borrowed that from a friend of mine. Hey, amazing. You didn't fall down the stairs. I didn't hear a big thud.
Oh, you won it. I got my fucking volume muted when I leave the computer desk. I tell you what, if I keep drinking, I might though.
Yeah, we call them RCDs, me to people. Rodent control devices. And hey, it works. And now I'm finding out that what is interesting is that even uh, Tractor Supply, who is owned by that same big box store chain, if you go do your research, um, don't you find it a little uh, interesting that the only stores that ever seem to fill old abandoned said big box store is usually a TSC. They're the only ones that ever seem to want to go in and occupy a place after said big box store comes into play. Something for a little food for your research there, me the people. Something to look into. But it's people don't. I guess because I grew up with grandparents who were raised in the Depression. Um, I did DM you already, me the people. Pretty sure I did anyhow. Oh, I got an alert. What's the alert about? Where is it at? Yeah, I did send you a link 1 hour ago. It says that it's sent. Um, yeah, you got a different. I only have the one Twitter. I don't have any other ones. But
Oh boy.
it's one of those situations that, with knowing what kind of a winter and knowing that the likelihood that we might um very the likelihood of a catastrophic ice storm this year that will most likely take the power grid down in the Midwest is probably greater this year than it's been in 25 years. And with
I believe that.
most communities still have majority of their infrastructure on the pole instead of buried, that sets us up for a a very catastrophic situation. Um, how long could a person go? You know, it all depends on the person. Each individual house, it is, if they're of the same mindset, they're probably better prepared for it than others. Um, but I remember uh, the ice storms back in 81. The winter of 81, 82. 83 had a couple of good ones too. And that took power out for nearly 9 days. And I live in a very small river community. And we were without power for 9 days. We're very
That's
fortunate
something
because,
people I don't know how many people don't realize. If you live by the water, no matter if it's just river, lakes, or even those or like me around fucking I'm surrounded by the Great Lakes and Lake Erie, you don't realize how much the temperature difference you get in those areas. When I
oh, it's
was
10 to 15
staying
degree
in Toledo
difference.
for a little bit, oh hell yeah. I never ever here live where I live here in northwestern Ohio ever had an issue with not car not being able to start or everything being frozen the fuck up until I lived in Toledo for about 3 months in the winter, and it's like went to start the car and everything was frozen solid
Yep.
because of the difference between the lake effect and it's just colder. And it's like that if you live close to rivers and stuff, your temperatures vary and are different from say me where I'm at right now, in the middle of bumfucked Egypt. Yeah, we get cold, but we don't have. Then our nearest river is St. Joe's, which is out by Pioneer, so I'm a ways from that. Not really 10-minute drive, but a ways. As far as being able to change the climate to the area I'm at,
I'm
I'm
two
not by
blocks.
no lakes.
I'm two
Nearest
blocks
lake,
from the river.
right? My nearest lakes are fucking what 15, 20 miles, so I don't get that differential on cold. But and it goes back to what I've always said in some of my other videos. It's about knowing your surroundings, knowing what you're by. If you
And
know what you're by, you can adapt to those things. I mean, shit, we still own a fucking 1960s, maybe 1950s kerosene heater that still works.
yeah, you're gonna want to go maybe tomorrow, maybe go through it and clean that up and clean that out, because this year they are self forecasting anywhere from, and this is throughout the upper Mississippi River Valley, uh, we very well could see actual air temperatures minus 55 or more below zero.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking forward to any of that. And it's like this time of the year, guys. Seriously, if you're going to go out, dress in layers. And it's easier to take something off than it is to put it on.
Well, when it gets to that temperature, um, there's really no amount of layers that you can really put on, even if with protective eye goggles and things of that nature. Um, Hypothermia sets in under 7 minutes, even with the most advanced gear and with the Arctic gear that is made today. Um, Hypothermia sets in 7 minutes or less at temperatures like
I'm
that.
good up to negative 50 too with the gear
And
I got.
with and then when you if you factor in the wind chill on top of that, then you're talking negative 75 or better. And at that temperature, there's really not much that is going to, you're really not going to be able to, outside of cuddling with, whether it be with critters, with family members, that's really going to be the only way you're going to be able to stay warm. Um,
Well, yeah, you mentioned that part, but what most people don't realize, the cuddling part also requires no clothes.
well, unfortunately, that is the you are
I mean, for
exactly.
anybody that's actually studied been taught the survival trainings of winter and actually experienced that shit, which unfortunately I have. Yeah, you need skin on skin body
Yep,
heat.
yep, and
Clothes do not, no, doesn't work.
um, you
And
are
don't rub your arms or hands. It's your chest area that you want to keep warm because that's your circulatory system.
you are spot on the money. That's
I mean,
why.
I did so many fucking survival fucking winter polar bear shit. Well, one, winter's my favorite time of the year. People that hasn't figured it out yet. I'm most active in the winter. Or to jumping jacks, hell yeah.
Um, me the
But yeah,
people.
it's one of the first things you're taught. I mean, it's skin on skin, and it's nothing perverted or being sexual about it. It's just you
That,
can't generate body heat through clothes
that's
and
right.
transfer it to another person.
But me people actually hit the nail on the head about, and that's why I closed all of my videos. Um, Take care of yourself. Take care of your neighbors, even that crotchety old neighbor down the street, um, because you never know when your life might depend on that crotchety old neighbor that nobody ever talks to. You don't know when your life might just depend on that person, and having a good solid neighborhood is, it does help. But sometimes, if you know that you are going, the weather is going to get into that, uh uh yep, even Miss Crabble. What about Nurse Cratchit? I was hoping I'd get Mountain Dew to come out of his nose. Sorry, I've had that movie on my brain for like 2 days.
Yeah, and I've had one too many fucking drinks of fucking Yeah, Crown. And that tells you how much drink I've had, how much I've had to drink when I can't pronounce Crown or remember what I'm drinking. Wow.
You'll remember it tomorrow morning.
Oh,
Guaranteed.
bet you I will. Or when I go back to work tomorrow night.
But
Thank God it's only a 3-day work week.
most people, if you don't have a group um, of like-minded people, you know, that and if you know that you've got extreme weather extremes coming, um, that's probably a time that you need to be heading um, to that location because um, there's a fair chance that um, situations in the city um, might go south real quick. And trying,
What do you mean, real quick? You don't want to be nowhere near the fucking city.
I'm very fortunate that I live right on the road that takes me right out of town, and within 4 minutes, I'm out the door and in my vehicle and heading across the bridge. So I'm very fortunate that I have that wherewithal, and I've rehearsed this many times, literally from a dead sleep, wake up, crawl into my chair, fall into my clothes, and hit the van and go across the bridge. When you're still 3/4 of the way asleep, for lack of a better word, and not even have any coffee yet. I'm beep beep. Hey, that's the sound that a Jeep makes. um, but you know, so many people, they don't think of these things. And what was even more interesting is the day that
Ouch.
the the national and the international uh, crop reports dropped. The Corps of Engineer also dropped their river report on the structural integrity of the dams and spillways for the Mississippi River. I don't think you want to know. That's a very sobering reminder of what river living can be all about.
Yeah, I don't want to sober right now.
Um,
Oh,
that's one for when your mind is there.
yeah, unfortunately, it's the opposite with me. My mind's more there when I'm not sober, but that's beside the point.
Um, because unfortunately, we live in a society that people have their heads in their phones, um, in their um, the because I do know a lot of people, and the nature of my job, um, and knowing people in the right places, um,
Oh, fuck.
the the way that the
Ow.
I didn't feel a thing.
Oh, trust me, if you know how my week was, you'd probably feel a lot more. Ow.
Um,
It honestly hurts to move. That's probably why I'm drinking tonight.
yeah, a little bit of liquid lubrication never hurt.
It'd be a little bit of lubrication and a shit ton of CBDs.
And
Mm-hmm.
if people truly knew how the dam systems and the spillway systems in this country were built,
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't even want to know. No, no.
it people would have an ark sitting in their side yard or their front yard and have it ready to go at a moment's notice. But speaking of which, it's folks, it's 11 o'clock. My coffee cup just went empty.
Yeah, damn, it's 12:01 already.
Yeah.
Oh well, my glass ain't empty yet.
That's a
It's
shock.
probably because I keep refilling it. Well, it's probably because I keep refilling it.
Yeah,
I'll put it
well,
this way: this was full when I started.
oh boy. Um, yeah, you'll definitely feel it tomorrow morning.
I won't feel a thing.
Lucky bastard. I would. That's why I quit messing with Crown when I was at about 17.
Well, I mean, Crown's not my drink of choice, but I don't know. I prefer tequila, but it works, especially after the week I had. In fact, actually, after the 3 weeks I've had, other than this week has just been, oh my god, I felt my age.
Yeah, me and
I still feel my age, and I feel my age even worse 'cause knowing that my birthday's like, but what, 14th of next month, so a couple weeks away. Wow, I haven't been in this much pain in a while.
I prefer it straight out of the bottle at room temperature.
That's what this is.
It um and I learned that me and Jose, he's as long as he stays on his side of the border, I'll stay on my side of the border. We'll get along just fine. Uh, because
Well, I don't do no Jose. If I'm gonna do tequila, it's either gonna be Mezcal or the Patron.
the problem is I end up chasing the damn worm,
Well, yeah, that's the object of it.
and bad things
You're not
always
drunk until you get the worm.
bad things always happen. Um,
Ow, fuck.
it's really bad things happen. I'd probably make me slide out of her seat laughing. um,
I'm shocked I've been as well behaved as I've been on
but it's
thus far.
the people
I mean,
have
other than the F bomb. Of
you know yeah, well, shit
course,
happens.
then I gotta have to listen to. Of course, then I gotta have to listen to tomorrow, see just how well behaved I have been. Oh wait, that's not gonna happen because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. So
Oops.
it
My
would just get age restricted and forgotten about until
my
somebody
my
points something out.
my honest thought is that as long as people walk around with their head down, not paying attention, the situation, it's only going to further um, go downhill. Um,
Oh, that's right. That's why I went down and got cigarettes.
Um, my Espanol, I know enough uh, Spanish to get shot.
I know enough to get me in trouble.
I know enough to get shot, get a shot, um, get a beer, get lucky.
Fuck, I can't even get lucky. I can't even get lucky sober.
Hey,
So,
turn your cigarette around.
oh, good thing you said something.
I don't know. That's going to be priceless. That's going to be a priceless moment.
Wow. I haven't done that in forever. Fuck, I
Oh,
haven't drank in forever, for to be honest.
and,
That's right. I can't get lucky and I don't have a social life. That's probably why I can't get lucky. Glad I could make fun of myself and fucking laugh.
you know, I tell this to people all the time.
Oh,
If
wait, I can get lucky with the scammers.
I play with them.
Oh, so do I. In fact, I probably get off more on the scammers